you say. I say the opposite. They're at fault for allowing the destruction of Throggs Neck, East Tremont Avenue, turning it into a lounge. Every place is a lounge. And City Island, the community board has been advocating. I've been to meetings 2 years ago. We had people from Miles Avenue complaining about Tosca. I complained 2 years ago about Havana. And they said, you're picking on the Spanish clubs. What happened to the Irish and Italian restaurants? And I said, those are not the problems. Some of the old board members were attacking me for even standing up to the board. So don't come here, Mr. Innocent, and the board don't come here, Mr. Innocent, because we do have a few bad apples, and I've asked them to resign. And thank God some of them have resigned. Thank you.
Some kind of follow. Eugene does go to the community board and he's telling you Frank right where he's at. We need term limits in the community board too. These people here are long members running the show for all the special interest groups. I'm sorry to say. They're selling out and they have sold out. Okay, all the malls, they get the golf courses and all the other massive stuff. Hurricane Sandy came, they didn't advocate, they didn't fix the neighborhood. FEMA didn't come. The neighborhoods in Miles Avenue have like 26 potholes. Behind Sweeney's, the street has never been paved. Right? Everybody living in Miles Avenue, that area is a mess. The communities in City Island are going crazy. From April 1st to September 1st is a disaster. The people can't get in. I'm the only one that advocated an HOV lane to let the people go in. The people from the other side, they have the same traffic disasters. The community board needs to be shut down, rebuilt, and fixed. The city council membership here, one of us, other than Mark, has to represent you. Mark doesn't have the attendance, I'm sorry to tell you. He's a great looking politician, but I'm sorry, he doesn't know how to legislate, doesn't know how to make the bills happen into law. All of us here are gonna do the job, I'm sorry. One of the other people here could do the job better. We will go to work. You go to work, you're late, whatever. One last thing I just want to say. I lost my uncle to colon cancer. I lost my mother-in-law, and I lost a couple of other people. I still went to work in Stanford, and I still attended, and I did my job. And I came back and I buried my family. There's no excuse. You're a public servant, and you have to do your job.
Thank you, Victor. Alex.
Thank you so much. I said this earlier today, I'm going to say it again. Follow the money. If you want to really know who's on that community board, there's people on that community board that actually are some of these business owners. And if you don't believe me, go to one of those meetings. And you'll see them there. They're sitting there, they're part of that community board, and they will advocate for their businesses. So that's part of the problem. The problem is also that the elected official who's been in office for 12 years, and you can say you know all you want, but I can point them out for you, I can name them for you. Okay? The problem is that one of us up here actually owns a nightclub. Okay? I'm not going to call it a nightclub because he calls it a restaurant, but it's a nightclub. Okay? And it happens to be in City Island. So who is really advocating for the people of the community? And who is going to advocate for the business owners who are destroying the community? Ask yourself that question. Follow the money. I also want to just make an announcement. I think that the comments that are made back there are very disrespectful to everyone that's up here and to everybody that's here today. So if you want to hold your comment about Mark or about your candidate, with all due respect, I would ask that you would refrain from making comments because it's offensive to everybody that's up here who's giving their all. And I think it's also offensive to those people who have respected you guys as well. And my point is, this is about us as a community, not about me as a politician or about my pockets or how I'm going to benefit from it. So again, If you want change in the community, you do need to change the process of how people are elected on the community board and who is making the decisions at City Hall. And that happens because of the elected officials that were in place for the last 12 years. And Mr. Jonah is one of those elected officials.
Thank you. Marjorie?
Hi, Tom. Thank you for the question.
Nobody's
I
addressed
am
the
going to
taxes
answer
and the water
the
bill.
question
They
because
picked on the community board.
as a Democratic district leader and a member of the executive board in the Chippewa Democratic Club, we actually held a meeting where we sat with DEP and said, how are you guys doing this? What are we doing? And at that time, we were expecting a water rebate. However, oddly enough, a special interest group for wealthy landlords came in and sued the city to stop from you, homeowner, to get that rebate. Because they wanted a piece of their, share because they don't have enough money. And we need to fight back. And we need to fight back against candidates that accept money from those special interest groups. And we need to unite together and say, we want this water rebate back on the table. I look forward to telling Bill de Blasio to his face and saying, I'm going to join you in this. We're going to fight against RSA on this. We're going to fight against the revenues of the world. And those are two special interest groups that hold the interest of only wealthy landlords. We got to fight together. When we're looking at property taxes, we got to make sure that the assessments are correct. We got to stop overbilling on our families here because we're displacing our own. Families that have invested their whole lives here. That's what we got to go back and say, no, you're going to fix this. And I have, like I said, I have no problem calling people out. I have no problem letting people hear my voice. And I'm here to stand to do your voice.
Thank you, sir. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of love. It's part of the game. It's fine. Right, no one's answered your question. First of all, I do want to say to you that I praise anyone that gives their personal time to serve on a community board, and God bless you for doing it. The fact of the matter is, the mayor has lied to us again. He lied to us on the double-digit water and sewer rate increases that he said would not happen under his administration, and he's lied about the real estate tax increases. You're being forced out of your home because of the city policies that we have on overtaxation. Your water rates are now more expensive than your fuel costs. When we had the recession, there was a surcharge that was added onto 1 to 3 family homes by Bloomberg. It was nearly 10% increase in your real estate taxes. And that was to make up for the recession and the deficit the city had. That money, that was supposed to be reversed. On the Bloomberg, it was a pledge. De Blasio promised to reverse it. He didn't live up to his word. He didn't live up to his word that he would not be raising water and sewer rates. I've been a proponent of 2% real estate tax increases. If it's good enough for the rest of the state, it should be good enough for New York City, and I promise you that's what I'll do in the city council. We'll reevaluate real estate taxes, we'll lower water and sewer rates, and we'll make sure that those that can't afford to pay for their increases in taxes do so, but not at the cost of you, the homeowner. Thank you.
Let's start with the economic point of your question, because we could go into the community board thing all night, but for most people that's inside baseball. Tom, I invite you to go to my website, shameless plug, johndoyle.nyc. You see detailed plans on everything I talk about. It's one of the things that I like to do. One thing as it relates to water bills, the issue with the water bill is that we don't incentivize conservation. You're paying for aqueducts and water mains that they're building into Manhattan right now. That's why your water bill is so high. You're paying for capital construction costs. That's wrong. We need to go back to a system that incentivizes conservation. It should be that if you use over 500 gallons, your cost thereafter balloons up, because we want to encourage conservation. If you save water, you should see your bill go down. I'm committed to changing the system and working on that. We're going to have to work with the state legislature to do that. As it relates to property taxes, this is a unique beast, but it has not been clear. And the fact of the matter is that we tell you we've kept your property taxes stagnant, but then what we do is we change your assessment. which in the end is just raising your property taxes. It's a game. What we need is a fully transparent system where you know and understand what's going on. There's no reason that Vic DiPiero and Country Club is paying double what the mayor's paying down in Brooklyn. That's absolutely absurd. It should, if it's good enough for Park Slope, it should be good enough for Country Club. And that's something I'm gonna fight for as well. As it relates to the community board, I'm going to say things that maybe some people don't want to hear, maybe you're one of them. Listen, there were some problems at Community Board 10. The chair was voted out, the district manager was removed. That's just the facts of the matter. What I would try to do to be positive is to reassess who's appointed and work with the borough president in that regard. I would try to get people who are either on a community association, on a veterans group, on a merchant association, AARP, PTA. I had three simple responsibilities for them. One, I want you to listen. That's number one. I want you to listen to your neighbors. Two, I want you to research the issues before you vote on them. And three, I want you to obey the law. Thank you.
So to answer your question, I'm an accountant. I've been in the accounting industry for close to 30 years now. I believe that it takes somebody like an accountant to scrub through the books to figure out where is the city wasting our money. People ask this question all the time, where are they wasting their money? Well, until you see the books, it's going to be almost impossible to figure it out. But I guarantee you that we can cut things that are being spent incorrectly throughout the city budget, and then we can do things like lower the real estate taxes. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the New York City real estate taxes, the senior citizen star exemption, recently many seniors lost it, completely lost it, because the city said that if the seniors made more than $37,399, including their Social Security and pension, IRA and everything, that they would lose it. And this is ridiculous. Seniors have doubled their real estate taxes. They cannot afford, they're on a very fixed budget. We need to figure out how is it that de Blasio is only paying $3,100 for his $1.5 million house, and then somebody in Throggs Neck or Pelham Bay or any other community in our district is paying close to $6,000. When our assessments, I know my assessment's $442,000. How does that make any sense? If you knock down the house, the land is not worth more than what it is in Brooklyn. Definitely not. So, we need to figure that out. And the other questions you asked, like the real estate taxes going up for the business owners and the landlords is putting people out of business. That takes us back to the bid. Now, the bid would increase business for the community, for the business owners. That would increase revenue for the business owners, and they can stay in business. The bid is definitely something good for the community. One last thing, as an accountant, it really, really frustrates me that we are one of the only cities, there's very few cities throughout the United States that pay a city tax. They actually have the nerve to call it a luxury tax because we live in the 5 boroughs. Why do we have to pay so much tax? They say, well, people upstate New York, they pay a lot of real estate taxes, but they don't pay the city tax that we pay. So we have to figure out a way to cut our city tax so that we can start saving money again.
Thank you, John. Thank you. We're down to our last question. Now, obviously there are many people with other questions here. Would I be correct in saying that if anyone would like to speak one-on-one with any of the candidates, they may do so after the meeting? Okay, so they will do that if you like. Now, I'm in a bit of a dilemma here. There's 2 young ladies here whom I picked out. I'm going to try something, if you come up this way, both of you. I'm taking a gamble with this. All right, Lyndon says one more question, so I'm going to think of a number. It's in my mind between 1 and 10. What's the number? 7. 7, thanks. I was going to have them both put a question in. But anyway, please ask your question loud. Thank you.
I'm here from Edgewater Park. I represent 675 homes. We are being crushed by FEMA, by DEC, by house insurance. We are sliding from a middle-class community to a low-class community. We are being dumped on. Locust Point has a bridge dumping pollution on them. We have the DEP dumping pollution into the Weir Creek. We're afraid to ask for help. We get no money and no support because we are supposedly a private community. I want to know who is going to help me because I will not stop. I want to know who is going to recognize our community and help us because we need help. And I'm going to say this, Jimmy Vaca has helped us. And I am grateful to the people that volunteer in their community, on community boards, as local citizens and activists helping their little communities and getting nothing in return.
Thank you. I'm going to start from left to right where we started in the beginning with Mr. John Serini.
So I definitely agree. As an insurance broker, I can tell you that there's people in Edgewater Park and Locust Point, Silver Beach that are paying astronomical amounts of flood insurance that they can't sell those homes because people can afford the mortgage, they just can't afford the flood insurance. Home insurance is a fraction of what the flood insurance is. So we need the representatives, whoever's elected, to work together with our Senate, with our Congress, with FEMA, to do something about this flood insurance. Senator Klein recently had appointed me to a special counsel for homeowners, and I went down to the New York State Insurance Department. I was proud that he picked me as a local community broker. I know that the home insurance industry and the flood insurance industry is out of control, but we need to work on the seawalls. You know, your seawalls are collapsing. It's a horrible thing that people who invest so much money into their homes are now scared that the seawalls are going to cause destruction to their property. You should not have to go through that. So we need elected officials that are going to do something about all of these problems that you're having. I know that could be me. I hope that you guys can vote for me on election day. Thank you.
I definitely echo what John said and the need to work together. And sometimes you've got to check your party label at the door and do what's right for the people.
Absolutely.
As it relates to FEMA, DEC, you know, I've had experience with kind of all these agencies. As a matter of fact, John and I used to have to deal with a lot of people in Edgewater and along the Eastchester Bay Seaboard who got their insurance cut by many different insurance companies as a result of Hurricane Katrina. For some reason, they kept the policies there and dropped them up here just to kind of clear their books. As it relates to Edgewater, you know, I think I've done a lot in Edgewater working with your board. They're fantastic. I know that as it related to New York Rising, we were able to get money to make the firehouse handicap accessible. I think that's a clear way that we can be helpful. I know we're also going to harden a lot of the electrical systems, and I think that was money we got through the governor to do those things, so that was very helpful. Listen, climate change is real, and it's here, folks. I'm going to make that clear to everybody. And we need to address ways to make that happen. One thing I'm very serious about is taking the top climate people down at City Hall, if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, bringing you, Debbie, because you're right, you're tenacious, and I thank you for it, and bringing them along our seaboard. I want to see berming over here, because you know what, everybody? Had Sandy, had the tides been in the other direction, our neighborhoods would have gotten very, very hurt by what happened there. I live in a coastal community. I know it well, and I know that we have so much more to do. We have not done enough, and that's going to be one of my main causes, the environment and climate change, and making sure that residents like Edgewater Park are protected, and going down there on Build It Back and telling Bill de Blasio he hasn't built it back. Thank you very much.
Edgewater is another jewel that we have in the Throggs Neck area. Those homeowners out there truly are a fortunate community that we should be living amongst them. I've been out there, I've seen your issues, and I heard your issues. We've discussed them. It's not only the flood insurance that's twice as much or expensive as your homeowner's insurance, your firehouse, you have a volunteer firehouse out there. For those of you that have never been out there, that's an incredible community. Those 600 plus homes make up a real family unit, and I think that they don't get the credit that they deserve. Because of your waterfront property and proximity to the water, you have been, unfortunately, overlooked for a long, long time. We did a survey. On your table, you see a survey that 1 out of every 3 homes, or 33% of homes, don't feel they're ready for the next Hurricane Sandy. That's unfortunate. We haven't built back your homes, let alone come up with ways to protect you from further damage. I assured you then, and I'll assure you again now, I'm in a unique position. I'll be working alongside Senator Jeff Klein and Michael Benedetto and Congressman Crowley to make sure collectively we address the issues